So many ladies. Come on in, come on in. Oh, some faces. Hi. Someone's on the walking pad. Hi, ladies. Great to have you here. I will just wait for like one more minute to see if anyone else is jumping in. And then let's get it. Amazing. Okay, I will have an eye on the waiting room and let the other ladies in slowly, but you were here on time, so let's get it started. Let me just share my screen with you because we have a perfectly prepped presentation ready. Boom. Cool, do you see my presentation? Nice. Amazing. So we have a lot of stuff to cover today, and I'm very, very stoked that you are here. Very grateful. We don't take it lightly, right? There's so many like fitness stuff out there, challenges, coachings, communities, whatever, but you choose to be here. And so we are very grateful to have you here to support you during those next 30 days in your journey to finally gain the clarity that you need to really build your dream body. And when I'm talking about dream body, I don't only mean the aesthetics, right? Because one thing is to look a certain way, but the other thing is how you're feeling in your body, right? And so what we want to achieve and what we help our clients do is to build that body that you feel home in, right? That just feels amazing to live in, where you know, like, you can do badass shit in life. You are capable, you're strong, you're confident. You can wear the sexy jeans, the dress, feel good in a bikini, but you can also just like stand there in front of people and just be you and just be present and just be confident in who you are. So that's why this experience is called Built for More. And the whole theme for the next 30 days is that you show up as the woman who is built for more. And we have a lot of stuff to cover, so let's dive in. Now, we have gone through all your intake forms, and we know exactly why you are here. So you are here because you have been lifting consistently, tracking food, staying disciplined, but you still don't see the strong, sculpted body you have been working so hard for. Or you have done fat loss phases, maybe even building phases, but never know if you're doing it actually right or if you're just losing and gaining the same 5 kilo over and over again, right? Losing a little bit, gaining a little bit, losing a little bit, but it's not the like wow effect when you're looking at yourself in the mirror. You're maybe also tired of just trusting the process, right? There's so many people telling you, yeah, it takes time. Just trust the process. And while we do need to be patient in the process, it does take a lot of time in terms of like transforming your body, not only a couple of weeks, but years, months, and years. We don't just want to blindly trust. We want to understand if what we are putting in is actually moving us forward. So you're tired of just trusting the process when nothing's changing, and you're ready to gain clarity on what your body needs to get unstuck from where you're currently at. And more importantly, you want to ultimately build a defined and strong looking body so you can enjoy life. Hiking with the family, enjoying an ice cream during holidays, not thinking about it all the time, and slipping into your favorite pair of jeans without thinking twice. This is what I call like having the freedom in your body, right? We are constantly like occupied with those thoughts of like, how do I look like? Why is this not fitting, right? Why is the shirt, why I need to like do everything like this all the time instead of just feeling good in my body. You want to achieve that body, the maintenance body, where you can just like enjoy life and focus on other stuff that is important for you in your life. Now, the real problem is, despite your hard work and your commitment, you're not seeing the results you want because no one is showing you the bigger picture of your transformation, where you are in your transformation journey right now and what you need to focus on next. And this is what we want to help you with. So most programs throw you generic advice your way. It's like, let's do a fat loss challenge, and everyone is doing a fat loss, but maybe that's not even the right phase for you right now. Maybe you want that it's your right phase, the right phase for you, but it's not. So in our like 30-day experience, we will give you clarity about the current like body transformation level that you're in, and a clear actionable path to take the first step towards your strongest and most confident self. Now, I have been through that journey myself. I was thinking I was doing everything right. I was doing a lot of right things, but my body was still not transforming. Who knows that feeling? Who knows the feeling? Please type it in the chat. A little like yes, 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 or no, 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 no. But if you feel this, drop it in the chat right now. Okay, so we are all in this together. You are not alone. And we will help you like double check what is happening in your process that is not allowing you to move forward. Sometimes it's not having the right macros, right? But sometimes it's a little bit like deeper things. And we will go into that today. Now I was thinking I was doing everything right, but over years, my physique even got worse. It got not better. And so once I was actually doing everything right, I was able to transform. I was able from year to year achieve better and better results. This is how you build the body, right? You are reshaping the shape. You're reshaping the shape. Yeah, you're reshaping the body. You're reducing the muscle mass. You're reducing the body fat. You are adding the muscle mass so that your body shape looks different on maintenance. Because my old maintenance body, you can see on the left, I was sitting at 64 kilo. Yannick, you need to translate how much that is in pound in the chat, please. It's probably like double. And my new maintenance body that I'm currently maintaining and that I feel confident in, comfortable in, is 10 kilo, 20 pound lighter. I'm not saying that you need to have the same kind of weight changes, right? Everyone is different, has a different frame. I'm pretty small, petite girl. But I had to lose 20 pounds over a couple of years, over a couple of fat loss phases, to have now a new maintenance body that I can maintain without tracking my food. Because that's also the ultimate goal, right? You don't want to track your food for the rest of your life, but we need it for a specific phase so that you can get the results that you're looking for. Lose the body fat and build the muscle mass. Who wants to have a maintenance body without tracking food for the rest of your life? Nobody? Me, yeah. I bet. I'm so done with tracking. Yeah, sure. Especially if you're not getting the results after so much time, like putting the work in, it can just be draining. Now, what we will go into today, we have 3 steps. First, I want to show you the 4 levels of body transformation. This is super important for you to have the right expectations in your journey. If you're not having the right expectations, you will constantly have that like negative mindset of like, why are things not working? Why I'm not where I want to be? Why can't I achieve the shredded look, the abs that are showing, right? If you want to strive for level 3 or level 4 results, but you're still in level 1, then we know like what's the gap. But if you don't know that, that's a problem in your process. And we need to have the right expectations so that we can show up for long enough and be consistent with what we are doing to get the results we are looking for. Part number 2 is the 6 challenges you need to overcome to transform. And you will face those in the next 30 days. Pinky promise. They are part of the game. Because for you to level up, you need to do some shit that like helps you to overcome and achieve the next level, right? And so often when we're having a challenge, we're like, oh no, it's not working, blah, 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 all those things. But those are challenges that you need to embrace. And you need to be like, ooh, nice. The next challenge is coming after me. That means if I'm working through that, I will level up. On the other side of the challenge is like the next level that I'm looking for. And the last step is how to win the next 30 days specifically. A lot to cover. Step number 1, the levels we conquer because we are built for more. Okay, I want to bring you out of the narrative that you can't do hard things, that it's so exhausting, that you are fragile, that you are not strong. I want you to have that mindset of, yes, I'm built for more. And I have these, I want to like conquer the levels of body transformation. Level 1 is what I call the foundation, understanding the craft of body transformation. We will go into each level. This is just to give you a brief understanding how this is stacking. I will also show you my personal body transformation results of each level. Now, level number 1 is the rising star. It's understanding the craft. What does it actually take to transform your body? This takes anywhere between 8 to 12 weeks. Then we have the baddie. This is the one who is learning the craft. Imagine this as like learning a language, right? So the level number 1 is just like understanding that to learn a language, you need to learn the vocabulary, learn the grammatic, learn the like writing, learn to put pieces of words together to craft a sentence, right? It's just the understanding. The next one, the level 2, is the learning of the craft. This is where you learn the vocabulary, where you learn the grammatic, all those things. That takes like 1 to 2 years. That's the, let me say, that's the like most challenging level because you will have a lot of challenges happening there. This is where most women stop and they're not like breaking through. The level after that is mastering the craft. It takes 6 months to a year. And then last but not least is refining the craft. This is like lifelong. This is where you have achieved your maintenance body and you're just working on some very specific things in your training. Now, these are ladies that I have personally worked with that were not there yet. But once they achieve the trailblazer, the level 3, this is where they learned about the craft. Step number 1, understand the craft, learn the craft, and then they were mastering the craft. That's why they were able to pull off like photo shooting and getting ready for that and really, really embracing themselves in their body. It was a project with their body and not against their body. And this is possible for all of you. All of you. Body transformation is not something, and I know there are some ladies who have challenges that are like very different from women to women, but there are still things that apply to everyone. And I have worked with women from their like beginning of their 20s over like to 61 on body transformation. And despite being in all the different phases of being pregnant, not having the period, having thyroid issues, having gut issues, being in perimenopause, being in menopause. All those women were able to some extent, depending on where they were currently at and what the focus was, to transform their body and feel home in their body. Now let's start with level 1, understanding the craft. And I want you to think about yourself and think about in which level you see yourself the most. Sometimes you're maybe a little bit in between, but you will probably see like one level where you're pretty sure like, okay, this is me. This is where I'm currently at. Level number 1 is the starting point for many women who are determined to change their bodies, but don't know yet, don't have the tools and the knowledge yet to succeed. If you're in level 1, you're probably doing a lot of things right, like eating healthy and clean and exercising, but you're missing the skills and strategies that ties it all together to really have a specific outcome. Because eating healthy is nice, exercising is nice, but transforming your body takes a whole different approach. And so this is the woman who feels like she's putting in the work but isn't seeing results. She's frustrated, maybe even doubting if transformation is possible for her. But the truth is, it's not about doing more. Eating even cleaner, cutting out even more carbs and sugar, training even more. It's about doing specifically what is needed and understanding what it takes to sustainably lose body fat and build muscles. Now, what she's doing currently for her nutrition, she's eating clean, avoiding processed foods, focusing maybe on like high protein meals, but she's not tracking her food all day, every day. So the portions, calories, and macros are inconsistent. She's skipping meals, mostly breakfasts. We have seen that in the intake form. Or overcompensating with large meals, leading to energy crashes or cravings. She thinks cutting out carbs, sugar completely will speed up results, but it often backfires, leaving her feeling deprived and frustrated. This type of woman is focused on regulating her cortisol levels, regulating her blood sugar levels. She's not even tracking her food. I'm like, start there, and then we can talk about blood sugar and cortisol, right? For the training, she's going to the gym or training at home, but doesn't have a structured plan. Often random exercises, or she's doing YouTube workouts or gym classes, right? And I'm talking here from experience. I have been in that level, right? Her workouts focus more on variety than progression, burning calories or how tiring the workout was, rather than objective metrics of progress. That was me when I first started training in a group fitness boutique gym with group fitness classes, athletic training. It was amazing for my consistency. I found a community. It helped me to be consistent. It was very much like fun to be there, but it was not specific enough for body composition changes. She believes she uses progressive overload the right way, but doesn't know for a fact that her training is effective. Using tempo in her training program is new, and she's more like moving the weight from A to B without having mind-muscle connection established. And for her lifestyle, she's getting less than 7 hours of sleep, thinking she can catch that up on the weekends. The stress management is lacking. She's often overwhelmed by trying to juggle work, family, fitness without a clear plan. She may experience bloating and cravings, but doesn't understand the role of lifestyle factors like nutrition, training, stress, and sleep in managing those issues. Her schedule sometimes feels chaotic, making it hard to consistently prep the meals, get to the gym, or stick to habits, or she doesn't realize how this is connected to her eating habits. Anyone who sees herself in level 1, and again, the community and all this experience, it's a safe space, right? So I'm sharing this because I have been there, and I have worked with a lot of ladies who have been in that exact stage. And my whole goal is to move you forward to the next level. And this is what we are going to do in the next 30 days to help you troubleshoot a couple of those things that you're currently going through and facing, and then moving on to the next level. Now, level 2 is about learning the craft. This is where the first like real transformation happens. This is where this is the phase where women stop guessing and start taking control of their body transformation. If you're in level 2, you have committed to doing things differently and you are ready to focus on one goal at a time and start learning the skills that create real change. What we have seen a lot in the intake form is, I want to lose body fat and build muscle mass. I'm like, for a short-term goal. I'm like, that's not a short-term goal. That's not a short-term goal. If you want to build muscle, you need to at least spend a year in the building phase building muscle, focusing really on building muscle and not going into a deficit. So building muscle is not a short-term goal. If you're writing down, my short-term goal is to lose body fat and build muscle mass, there is something off in your understanding of what it takes. And this will stand in your way. This will make you question everything. This will make you see something on social media and be like, oh gosh, I wish that I had X, Y, and Z. And then you're starting to like jump from one program to the next, hoping that it will stick. Now, this is the woman who has decided to stop trying to do everything at once. She's no longer dabbling. She's tracking her food, hitting her steps, and beginning to prioritize sleep. But she's still in the phase of like figuring it out, right? It's not like working out perfectly. That's not the point. So social situations and the occasional all or nothing mindset can throw her off, but she's determined to stay the course. She's showing up even in those moments that feel challenging, where she experiences like moments of doubt, the all or nothing mindset creeping in. So at this stage, she's really learning that accuracy matters as much as consistency. Level 1 woman was more about, I'm consistent with eating healthy and training. Now we are adding the next layer, which is being accurate with what you're doing. Now in level 2, you're tracking your food every day. You're starting to hit your calorie and macro goals more consistently. I'm not saying perfectly on point 100% all of the time, but on most days. She experiences how meal timing and food choices make her feel and support her goals. So once she experiences that, it becomes also easier to stick to it, right? Because if you're feeling great, you will more likely stick to it. She's planning her meals ahead of time, starting to meal prep, but may still have occasional last-minute decisions that throw her off. It can happen. You're not like a robot. You're a human being. It's called life. However, she's still figuring out how to navigate weekends or social situations. So that's still like, oh yeah, I'm good from Monday to Friday, but weekends, when I'm invited to go out for dinner, I don't know how to navigate that. Perfect challenge for the next 30 days. She's noticing improvements in managing hunger, but might still face the occasional food cravings. For her training, she is following a structured strength training program. She is focusing on progressive overload by increasing the weights. She's learning to train with tempo, with control, focusing on the quality of the movement. And she's also tracking her workouts to measure the progress. This will lead to more like confidence in your abilities and the whole process when you see that what you're doing is moving the needle forward. Her strength numbers are improving, but she's still working on the execution and pushing herself to the right intensity. Now here are the like intermediate level strength standards that we try to hit with our ladies who are in that level. And most of our clients that we work with are in either level 1 or 2. And we help them to get them to level 3 in their body transformation and level 4. But a lot of ladies are in this space where everything, they're already doing a lot of right things. hitting the gym and having a structured strength training program, tracking their food, but they're not still there yet. They haven't kind of like cracked the code of like, okay, this is it. This will like really, I have a solid like process in place to transform my body. I know exactly what I do. I have the confidence in my journey. So those are just a couple of lifts. You don't need to hit all of those. They're also just the entry point. But those are the numbers that we are striving for. And you will not find that often like being showcased on like social media of like, hey, there are certain strength numbers that you should like shoot for. But we are putting a huge emphasis on performance in the gym because training is the key to your transformation, right? Nutrition will only dictate if you're losing and gaining mass, body mass, so you can navigate that with your nutrition. Super important. But equally important is your training. And at some point in your journey, when you understand that nutrition is not that complicated, I hope we can help you see that in the next 30 days. Then you move on to the next thing, which is like, oh, actually would like to strive for a couple of benchmarks in training. I want to become the woman who can RDL 1.5 times her body weight for 6 reps. This is what strong women do. Because nowadays, you can lose weight with different pills, injections, right? So it's not that much of a flex to lose weight. But it is a flex to be strong, to really build a strong body, to grow some muscles. And I'm not talking about like huge bodybuilder muscles. What we hear very often is like, yeah, I have enough muscle. I have like too much muscle, all those things. I just need to get rid of the layer of body fat. I can feel the muscle beneath, right? I can feel them. It's just like covered. And then in the end, when we're looking at the strength numbers, it's like, no, there are not enough muscles there. And it's okay, right? Because we're working on those. We are trying to hit those strength numbers that will tell us that there is some muscle mass there so that when you're leaning out, you will actually look defined and not just smaller in your body. Now, for her lifestyle, she started to like recognize the importance of sleep. Again, she's still battling a little bit the all or nothing mindset. When she's having a bad meal or missing a workout, she's more aware of her body, what's like going on in her body with the things that she's doing in her everyday life, how it helps her improve how she's feeling in her body. She's also planning her week like more intentionally already. Training is most of the time set, also some time for like meal prep. And she's hitting her step goal. She's trying to hit her step goal. Also, one thing that we have seen in your intake forms, over 60% of you ladies are hitting like 5,000 to 6,000 steps a day. And I just want to spark a little thought in your head. So many of you are saying, I want to look more defined, want to look more athletic year around, right? Not just at the end of your fat loss phase, but 365 days a year. A body that moves will look athletic and more defined by nature. A body that doesn't move will not look that way. So if you want to look like someone who is active, then you need to be active. And if you think like, oh, there's so many things I need to like work on now, I'm like, if you're currently sitting at like 5,000 steps, I would highly encourage you to focus on that for the next couple of weeks. It will be a game changer. I've seen women get in shape just by bumping up their steps from 5 to 10K. That was the biggest lever. Now, that was me when I first mastered level 2, right? I went from the foundation stage where nothing, like I was losing a little bit of weight, but it was not looking like super different. And then I went through my second fat loss phase and then my first ever building phase. And that was the first time that I could really see differences in my body composition. But it's still not the shredded look that we sometimes see on social media. That will take level 3, mastering the craft. This is where you start to see the payoff of your hard work. If you're here, you have successfully completed at least one fat loss phase and a building phase, and you know exactly what it takes to achieve those goals. At this level, it's really not any time longer about like trying, it's really about executing. It's not about trying to hit the protein, it's not about trying to eat breakfast, but you get it done, like a job, right? This is the woman who has dialed in her nutrition training recovery. She's tracking macros. It feels like second nature. She's hitting her workouts with proper form intensity and progression. She navigates social situations with ease, prioritizes sleep like a pro, has fully embraced this lifestyle. It's part of her identity. She knows she's capable of setting ambitious goals like prepping for a photo shoot and achieving them with confidence. As I already said, she tracks her macros effortlessly, adjusts them quickly, right? This is when someone tells me, yeah, you need to change your macros per meal tomorrow like this, and then I can execute it. It's not throwing me off. It's like, okay, I'm getting that done. Easy peasy, lemon breezy. She preps her meals. She hits the targets without stress. She navigates the social situations that I was just talking about. And she's being very intentional about incorporating more flexibility when needed. But she also knows when she can't afford the flexibility, right? Like for a photo shoot prep. Food isn't a source of anxiety. She enjoys the process and understands how to balance flexibility with structure. Her workouts are intentional. Her control is spot on. She knows how to execute the tempo.
So happy that we're moved on from that now.
Oh, someone is not muted. Let me mute you. Boom. She is performing the intermediate level lifts, right? But now she's like progressing even to the next level, and she can auto-regulate her training. That means she knows exactly in her training session when is the right time to push, when is the right time to pull back, how to choose the weights appropriately. For her lifestyle, sleep is non-negotiable. You can't build a body if you're not sleeping. It always comes down to the basics, steps and sleep. So often we are thinking far, like all of you are taking so many supplements. I'm like, stop taking all of those supplements. Start focusing on sleep and steps. This is where I want your headspace to be. Like, focus on that. How can you shift your day a little bit? How can you make little tiny changes in your everyday life to prioritize those things? It will not just come because nobody has more time just like that. We need to make that. She can navigate the social situations with ease. She can intentionally like give in when she's going out for dinner and she's like, oh yeah, today I will have pizza and ice cream as a dessert and I don't fucking care, right? This is the level 3. Now, this is what that looks like in my personal transformation journey. That was the first time I achieved in a fat loss phase really a shredded physique. I was so shredded for my photo shoot at that stage. And after that, I was going through a building phase, which was very much different than the first building phase. The first building phase was more like a pizza and ice cream diet, right? That Yannick and I did, pizza and ice cream every second day, probably. We thought like, oh, we have so much to eat, let's just eat. This building phase was definitely different, and I put on better, more quality mass on my body instead of just fluff. And that's the kind of physique that you see on pictures like this, right? So those shredded abs took me to go through like level 1, level 2, and then level 3. And sometimes we see that and we are like, yeah, I want those results. But we kind of miss focusing on the right stuff for where we are currently at. Now, level 4, and I will make that pretty short, is where you are refining details. You have mastered the art of body transformation. You have achieved a level of strength, physique, and health that most women only dream of, really. Because you also need to remember there are only 1% of women on planet Earth that are following a structured strength training program. Not only going to the gym, right? This is like the first step, but following a structured strength training program and tracking their food. Even though you're maybe in your fitness bubble on Instagram and everybody seems to do that, it's not what everyone does. And so you need to give yourself also credits for that. To go on that like journey is not something that everyone is willing to do, and that not everyone is willing to change internally to achieve those results. So this woman knows her body inside out. She's not chasing some big milestones. She's not going for the shredded look. She's just like enjoying life. She's maybe having some specific things she wants to focus on, maybe athletic stuff, maybe improving her specific cardio zones, whatever it is, growing her glutes. Like that's very specific. But we kind of need to earn becoming so specific in our transformation journey. I will briefly just touch on this because I do have a lot of other stuff to cover, and I want to make sure to honor the time that you craved out for crave out for today, today's kickoff call. This woman is really like hitting, not just hitting the macros, but she kind of has a meal structure where she has dialed her nutrition so far that she doesn't have to track her food, and she will still roughly hit those numbers that she has for herself, for her body, for what she needs. For the training, again, it's very intentional. It's not just doing a lot of stuff. When I'm going into my training sessions right now, I will do 2 or 3 sets per exercise, and that's enough because I know how to train in those 2 to 3 sets with intensity. And I will have 4 to 5 exercises. So I don't need to do 10 exercises and 4 to 5 sets and a million of reps, because what you want to achieve is to do less, but do it better. You want to become very great at the less things that you're doing and not just adding more and more stuff to your plate. Now, for her lifestyle, she is relaxed yet disciplined, right? So she is devoted to her body. She loves working on her body. She's doing that out of self-respect and self-love. She's building herself up every day. Her body is her like best asset in life. That was me level 4 when I went through my last fat loss phase, and when I then achieved my now maintenance body that I'm now maintaining since probably November last year without food tracking. Now we are coming to the second part, which are the challenges we face because we are built for more, right? So there will be challenges, and the whole point of this 30-day experience is that you're going through these 30 days with us and that you're showing up, sharing those challenges. Of course, we want also to see the like wins and highlights, and we are absolutely there for it. But we are most importantly here to support you through those challenges, right? Instead of you being constantly stuck in your own head thinking about why is X not working or should I do A, B, and C? you can share that. You can just get it out of your head. And sometimes we are like, no, what will other people think? It doesn't matter. You don't know the other people. Yes, we are in this together. We are one community, but you don't know the other ladies. So just share it for yourself to get it out and get our support on like how to work through things. You don't have to have the answer for everything. We will give you some input on what you can do. That's the whole point. We will have a million of ideas, and we need to find the one or two things that you can implement in your life, because also everyone is different, right? So there are two things we need to achieve our dream body goals. It's the education and the experience. We will, in the next 30 days, deliver you the education. Step by step, we will make posts and videos so that you understand better the body transformation process. On top of that, you will go through the experience and you will have us coaches, Yannick, Kitty, and me being there to support you, and also the other ladies. Now, the key ingredients for body transformation is that you fuel your body properly for what you need and the phase that you're in, that we send the body a signal to maintain or grow muscles. That's why you're strength training. But then we need the ability to execute the plan and stick to it. That's the most challenging part, right? Because we have all those things that will hold us back from executing the plan and sticking to it. Now, here are the body transformation challenges. We have internal challenges that will show up and external challenges that will show up. For everyone, it's very different. And it can also change throughout the journey, the process. One internal challenge is poor hunger management. Yannick made yesterday already a post about, like, for example, breakfast, right? So we need to dial in the breakfast. And if you're now saying, yeah, but I'm not hungry, or I've never eaten breakfast before, I'm not a breakfast person. I'm like, yeah, do you want to stay stuck where you're currently at, or do you want to change something and try it out? Right? You're in this challenge because you want to do something differently. And so we need to take care of good hunger management, not only for fat loss specifically, but for all stages, right? If you are at maintenance and you are challenged with cravings and being hungry all the time, something is very off. If you're going through a fat loss phase and you're constantly hungry, there's also something off. Of course, we need to make sure we will at some point face hunger in a fat loss phase. It's a little bit part of the game, but your job is to manage your hunger so that you can go through a fat loss phase and succeed. Otherwise, you will give up at some point. So we need to make sure that the calories are not too low overall, that we are not doing too many steps or workouts, that we are not having low food volume, poor food quality, or poor sleep and high stress, because this will always lead to hunger, more hunger, and hunger accumulates over time. You might not feel hungry until someday you're coming home late after work, the kids are stressing you out, the husband yells at you, and you open the cupboard and you see the chocolate bar and you're like, give me the damn chocolate, right? This is this moment. And this can come not from you having a poor willpower and you need to work on your willpower and be more disciplined. It can come from poor hunger management over weeks. And so we want to make sure to keep your hunger in check. We want to make sure that your body is properly fueled. Not only calories, but also especially carbs that we see like women undereat by a lot. Being hyper fixated on high protein, but missing out the carbs. Having a structured step goal and not doing 20,000 steps and then 5,000 and then 12,000 and then 8,000. It will have an impact on your hunger. We want to have high food volume, high food quality, enough sleep, and low stress And of course, there are things in life that will stress us, and we cannot eliminate everyone and everything, but we can make sure that what we are doing for our body enables our body to be more stress resistant. For example, eating enough calories and carbs. Your body will thank you. Your body will experience less stress. And then, of course, the boss, you can probably not fire the boss that is yelling at you, right? We cannot kick him out. But we can make sure that with the training and the nutrition part, we are taking care that the stress is low. Now, the second internal challenge is your belief system. What are you saying to yourself? Are you saying stuff like meal prep and pre-tracking is too time consuming? Is it? Like, is it really? Instead of thinking 3, 4, 5 times a day about what you should eat now, I would rather like meal prep and pre-track my food. Or stuff like I want to find balance while transforming your body. Yeah, balance is nice, and we will find balance at the end when you have transformed your body. But you are doing different that is bringing your body out of balance. You're going from where you're currently at to a place of being unbalanced, going through a building phase or a fat loss phase. So don't search for balance. Embrace the challenge and the change. Or, but I'm addicted to sugar and I must drink with my colleagues. You're probably not addicted to sugar. And you need to stop like telling yourself that kind of story because it holds you back from taking action and moving forward. So instead, shift that to, hey, meal prep saves me time, it saves money, it saves me headspace. Yeah, I want you to like shift things around in your head. And we will challenge you with that. If you're sharing something on the community board and we find a limiting belief here, we will challenge you on that. We will ask you, do you really believe that? Or stuff like pre-planning my food gives me long-term flexibility and results. Or nobody decides what I eat but me. I'm the one. I'm the one deciding what I will put into my mouth, not grandma who's giving me the cake. And the third one is the skill set. Now, going through this process, you need to learn a couple of things. Those are your skills. And in the next weeks, you will face a couple of things and be like, oh, I didn't know that I was missing this skill. Maybe this is like the one that is missing for me. Things like meal prepping, right? It is a skill. You can be like very good and very time efficient in that, or it takes you a whole Sunday, which is not the point. Nailing the steps, right? It's also a skill. A lot of women are getting walking pads so they can like watch a show in the evening and still get their steps in. Like we need to become smart about like how we are approaching those things. Navigating eating out, pre-tracking your food intake, prioritizing sleep, being adaptable when the initial plan gets disrupted. That's also a skill that you need to learn. Instead of panicking, knowing exactly, okay, today I'm not able to track my food or I'm not able to hit my macros. I can still track and maybe I just focus on hitting my calories. Still better than nothing. Or if I can't track because I'm traveling, then maybe I will just focus on having 3 proper meals that day. Still better than nothing. Saying no thanks with a smile, definitely a skill. Setting boundaries with your surrounding, seeking out for support, and I would encourage you to do that inside of the community as much as you can and want. And also communicating your goals clearly with your close surrounding. You don't have to tell about your goals everyone, right? Not everyone will understand you. But with like the most, like the close people around you, This is the first thing I do with my one-on-one clients. They need to communicate their goals with their husband, with their hubby, right? With their life partner, with their families, even with their kids. Because if they're like starting to track their food, they're eating differently, why not like just share that with the family and educate them that this is important to me and I do that for X reason, instead of being the strange mom who's looking how much salad she's eating and then chicken, dry chicken. And those skills lead to results or not results. And I picked the weight fluctuations here because it was specifically about fat loss, but two different clients. One was accurate with what she was doing. The other one was also doing everything, but she was not accurate. The one on the left was saying, Dragana, I'm tracking my food, I'm doing my steps, but my weekly rate of loss, my weight loss is so slow. And I looked at her stuff and I was like, yeah, you're doing the things, right? You're tracking your food. I can see that at the top. This is her food that she's tracking, and she's also tracking her steps. And this is her weight loss, not very fast. And then I showed her another client. I was like, yeah, you're doing it, but you're not very consistent, not very accurate with what you're doing. And now this client, she's very accurate with how she's hitting her daily goals. Like daily, you see that. She's all in the yellow. The one on the left has definitely a couple of days where she started to track her food and then she was like, whatever. The other one was tracking day in, day out. Same for the steps. I mean, look at this. Like, of course, there are some days which are higher or lower, but most days are like almost like boom, flatline when it comes to the steps. And this leads then to this kind of fat loss. That's the difference between just being consistent in doing the work and being consistent and accurate in what you're doing. Now to the last three external
And I
challenges.
had a webinar this morning. I was like, I got
Someone was off on unmuted. Then we have three external challenges. The one is cultural norms. There's just stuff out there that is like kind of normal. Fasting is normal. Coffee for breakfast, having a sweet breakfast. Like when I'm telling my clients, hey, maybe start a savory, like your day with a savory thing and like keep the sweet stuff for the evening before you're going to bed to have something like nice and sweet. They're like, sounds strange, but then they're doing it and they love it. I started to eat like in my first coaching that I did where I saw the first results, like ate trout for breakfast. Believe me, it was not something I was looking forward to. But I did it and it helped to transform like my hormones, my health, gain my period back, transform my body. So I guess it was good that I was leaving that like cultural norm behind me. Stuff like green salad for lunch, right? You think you're doing something healthy and clean, eating a green salad for lunch with some chicken. I'm like, where are your carbs? And then you end up coming home late at night and you're craving so much stuff. I'm like, yeah, no wonder if you're having green salad for lunch. Women often also skip snacks because they're maybe thinking it will help them have more stable blood sugar levels or help with their insulin. Detox juices, liver cleanse, meal replacement shakes, they're still on the market, still very popular. Big dinner is still very normal, like coming home in the evening and then kind of like eat because you then have the time to eat. Alcohol to unwind or social gatherings. Anything sweet equals carbs. So we think of my dad, he thinks carbs are like donuts, croissants, and cookies. When we are telling him, hey, you have cravings for sweets because you're not eating enough carbs, he thinks like donuts, croissants, and cookies. But all those things are carbs and fats. They're not like purely carbs. Carbs is like rice, potatoes, bread, pasta, stuff like that. A lot of people think low calorie is always better. Oh, well, it's not. Or I've done something good, I will reward myself with something sweet. Then the socials, also an external challenge. We need to learn how to navigate that. People who are commenting on, hey, you have gained weight. Hey, you have lost weight. You should eat more. Are you sure you want to eat this? Isn't this a little bit extreme? Why aren't you losing weight faster? Like those are comments I got, but also my clients are getting regularly. Things like, can you start eating normal? I'm like, what does normal mean to you? If you want to lose weight, just eat less and train more. Or come on, have one drink with us. Don't be so strict on yourself. And so that's a challenge because you need to learn how to deal with that. Will you always just give in because people are saying stuff like this? I did give in for my transition time where I had my first breakthroughs. It was definitely a skill I had to learn to, like, how do I react to those things? What will I say when someone says that to me? And the last external challenge is your environment. Now, some factors influence your eating habits, but are not directly related to your nutrition. Your genetics, social and professional environment, training, stress, recovery, mindset, and hormones all impact how much, what, and when you eat. And here's a little story that illustrates how our environment, like where we are living, strongly influences our eating habits very well. There was a study done in London and the UK where they reduced advertising for food high in fat, salt, and sugar in public transportation. Think of the cookies and the donuts. This led to an estimated reduction of 6% in total calories bought. Even more impressive, it led to an estimated reduction of 19% in chocolate and sweets bought. So just because people were not seeing it being advertised, they were buying it less. But what happened during the next 3 years is what's truly impressive. The reduction in advertising led to an estimated reduction of close to 95,000 people developing obesity, close to 3,000 cases of diabetes, and a reduction of close to 2,000 cardiovascular events, and a reduction of around 218 million pounds in the National Health Service by reducing the advertising. So you're definitely challenged every damn day when it comes to your nutrition and trying to live a healthier life and transforming your body. And you need to be aware of that because what's out there is kind of normal, but it's not really normal. It's kind of labeled as normal. And you're trying to work your way through that. So I want you to be aware of that in the next 30 days. Now, as I said, for the next 30 days, I want you to embrace those challenges and be a little bit more like, have your eyes open. As I said, for everyone, it will be different. Maybe you have just like one area, maybe the skill set is yours that you need to focus on. Maybe it's the hunger, maybe it's the socials because you are having a big family and you always have those family gatherings and it's always about like eating together, right? So we want to help you find out what your challenges are in your life. Because as I said, everyone is very different. We are kind of having the same goals we want to achieve. We're in this together, but every one of you is different. And now 30 days, we win because we are built for more. This is a little bit practical for the next 30 days. There are a couple of things. Not everyone will probably do that, but I will encourage you to share your wins daily from tomorrow on. It is definitely a challenge to do that, to sit down and write down your daily wins. Here are a couple of screenshots from our Strong Babes Club. The ladies are going crazy in there with their win posts. You know, we told them like write down 3 wins, and they're just like bam, 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 writing all those wins. And at the very beginning, it was challenging because you're sitting there and you're like, I didn't hit my macros. Training session, yeah, I did it, but maybe it could have been better. And we want to challenge you on that and find the good things that you did that day. And it can be very, very small. It can be very small. It can be just like showing up that day and sharing your wins, just being in the community, listening to a podcast episode, learning something, right? We're always so hard on ourselves. We have high standards, but we need to like meet those high standards with a lot of self-love. Only this is how you can build a body. If you're always having high standards, but you don't have self-love, you will always tear yourself apart by not being perfect. And so this is your daily accountability challenge, is to write down at least 3 wins at the end of your day. You've seen here in the examples, the ladies went wild and wrote down probably like 20 or 5 or 6. Start with 3. If you want to share more, go for it. We are very, very happy. And we will read those posts, right? It's not just lost in translation. And then what we also want you to do is the weekly check-in. You will find that in the classroom when you are going again through the lessons. There is one tab called weekly check-in. It's a template, right? So you can just like copy and paste the template, make a post and share for your nutrition, for your training, like how well did you hit that for the week? What was your biggest win, second biggest win? What will you do differently? And what are you proud of? If you do have questions, you can always tag Yannick below that. Yannick is smiling. Look at him. He's waiting for your check-ins. Below that, if you do have specific questions, maybe you have a roadblock, you realize like, I just cannot hit my carb goal, or I struggle with executing the training program. I don't know how to pick the right loads, right? Share that, because only if you're sharing, we can help you and support you. And then when it comes to those like next 30 days, 10% is strategy, 90% is your mindset. You have probably already gone through some form of like programs or training programs or macro goals or whatever it is, where you were trying to hit specific targets. That's all strategy. And strategy is great. I love strategy. I love making a good plan. But 90% of the next 30 days will be mindset. Be open to new ways of doing things, right? If we are proposing you like, hey, maybe you should have a breakfast, like, do you mind like trying that out tomorrow to fight your cravings? Then be open to that. Don't just say like, yeah, but I don't have hunger. Then eat less for dinner, right? We can fix that. We can help you with that. But be open to change. And if you're unsure like how to do that, then at least say, okay, I'm willing to try that out, but can you help me with X? I'm willing to try out the breakfast, but I'm having a hard time because I'm not hungry in the morning. What can I do, right? That's a completely different approach. Trust that you can do more than what you currently believe. Remember that you are built for more. Commit to your goals, to establishing a new standard for yourself. Reach out when you face roadblocks. It's not always rainbows and unicorns. Sometimes we are going through hard shit. And I mean, really hard shit. We have had in the Strong Babes Club women who are going through losing their mother. That was probably in the last year one of the biggest roadblocks for so many women. They went through grief, but they were still in this, right? They were still showing up. Lean on the community for peer support. I'm sure at least one other woman have gone through similar things as you. And last but not least, believe that you are built for more. And we are here to support you. It's a very human-led community, right? It's not an AI robot giving you answers. It's us as a coaching team and the community supporting you in this journey. And so we really, really want to encourage you to just show up, have fun. I know I talked today a lot about challenges and expectations, but I think it is important. And I want you to, as I said, embrace those challenges and see them more as something to, more like a little game, like body transformation as a game where you want to level up, like in Super Mario, where you're going through the different levels and you always have the end boss and you need to fight him to reach the next level. This is what we want to help you with. And this is how you will win those 30 days. And this is how you will also win beyond the 30 days, right? If you're having that mindset and that approach in your body transformation journey. And now, let's kick some ass, babes. We're done for today. I will upload the recording. Thank you for being here. I will also probably upload the whole presentation so that you have the scripts. I'm very, very grateful again that you are spending the time with us. We don't take it lightly. And we are, very much looking forward to support you on this journey. If you do have any questions, then please don't hesitate to drop them on the community board and tag us coaches so that we get a notification. Make always sure that when you're tagging us, that the name pops up like a little light blue. That means that we are like properly tagged, and then we can support you with all the questions that you have. Sending out lots of kisses. Let's get it.